This is what's inconsistent with the statement. My client's plumed Punisher strap. What does that have to do with anything? It plays the Plumed Punisher theme song, and here it is. The theme to the Plumed Punisher, Warrior of Neo Twilight Realm. Do you see what I mean? The music the victim heard in his final moments might not have been the Plumed Punisher theme song. I'm afraid I'm not following you. What was it if not the Plumed Punisher theme? In his final moments, Acolyte Zealot heard. There are no taiko drums in the intro of the Plumed Punisher theme, so what Acolyte Zealot actually heard in his final moments was the theme of the Steel Samurai, Warrior of Neo Old Tokyo. Peace! Peace, I say! Peace! Mr. Wright, what is this Steel Samurai of which you speak? The Steel Samurai, Warrior of Neo Old Tokyo is an action hero show from Japanifornia. The Plumed Punisher theme is a very similar to it. If you didn't know about the Steel Samurai, you could easily mistake the two. But the fact Acolyte Zealot heard music from a Japanifornian action TV show is irrefutable evidence the accused was in the secret hideout. Actually, no. You have it backwards. Backwards? That's right. Miss Faye met an avid Plumed Punisher fan here in crying. And as a token of their friendship, she traded a certain Steel Samurai item she had for the Plumed Punisher strap. Huh? And this avid Plumed Punisher fan was the one who killed Acolyte Zealot? Yes, and that avid fan is none other than the High Priest's wife, believing. Do you have evidence to back up this claim, Mr. Wright? For as forgiving as the Holy Mother is, I doubt she would tolerate yet another dose of your baseless slander. I suggest you prepare yourself to face Her Holiness's wrath. Oh, I'm prepared to turn this entire case upside down. This is my last chance. I better take a deep breath and review the evidence. Very well then. Please present your evidence if you would, defense. The evidence that proves Mrs. Inmee was the one who killed Acolyte Zealot. Oh, she has it in her hand. I never noticed before. Take that. Right here in this family photo. Proof Mrs. Inmee and Miss Faye trade items featuring their favourite characters. Objection. A family photo. And what exactly should we be looking at here? Proof they exchanged items featuring their favourite characters is right here. Take that! Look at Mrs. Inmee's left wrist. You can steal the Steel Samurai's trademark top knot right there. Which clearly makes this a Steel Samurai watch. I never knew your wife had such hobbies about Inmee. This family photo was taken right before Acolyte Zealot was murdered. By that point, my client had the Punisher strap and Mrs. Inme had the samurai watch. So what the victim heard in his final moments was none other than the sound of the watch Mrs. Inme was wearing. I wish to amend my testimony. What I thought were taikotrons were something else. My wife never had such a watch. It's the truth I tell you. You must believe me, your majesty. Be not deceived by the defence's loyally chicanery. Now what? He's been pretty quiet up until this point. What does he have up his sleeve? There is a big gaping hole in his flimsy claim. A big gaping hole? Don't think so. Oh no, I'm afraid it is there, all right. Just like the big gaping holes in your putrid brain. My brain is neither putrid nor full of holes. I'm not a zombie. Says the dead lawyer walking. He who is now a revision focuses on what is before him, never seeing the big picture. Or as I say in your country, you cannot see the forest for the trees. For it is as you said, and Lady Inme, the rebel, slew Acolyte Zealot, the rebel hunting Lady Kira. Then the rebel hunter would have been dead before the High Priest was slain. That means the High Priest could not have been slain by the rebel hunting Lady Kira. Oh, how can I have missed that? So tell me, who are you going to say killed the High Priest now? Oh. Do you finally understand the sheer size of the holes that riddle your putrid brain? I'm in hot water now. I don't have any other suspects in the High Priest's murder. You mindless zombie. You should have begun your journey to the Twilight Realm long ago. Now let it go and move on. No, I will never give up. I need to think things through and figure it out. Who really killed the High Priest? If Acolyte Zealot had been Lady Kira, he couldn't have killed the High Priest. So the question is who did? Maybe I can get to the bottom of this by reviewing the events of the case in order. But others could tell me something about the scene for the murder. The spring was stained red before the rite. Maya had said the spring had been stained red before the rite even began. From Zealot's blood. That's right, Zealot had been killed in the rebel hideout the day before the rite, and his blood had flowed into the spring. Wait a second. The High Priest knew the Zealot had been killed in the hideout. Why didn't he report it to the authorities? If Maya had been the killer, he could have easily had her arrested on the spot. Why didn't the High Priest inform the authorities right then? If he reported Zealot's murder, the authorities would find out about the hideout. That's what he was worried about. But by going through with the rite, the High Priest risked having Maya see the spring running red with blood. Why did he have to go through with the rite? Did he want to... He wanted to set up the crime scene to conceal the hideout. But how was he planning on concealing the source of the blood in the spring? He concealed the source of the blood with his arm. That's how he kept the rebel hideout a secret. It's all starting to fall into place. I know who killed the High Priest. Tarot's death was a suicide. I can't believe it. The High Priest took his own life to keep the rebel hideout a secret. The High Priest wasn't murdered by anyone. He took his own life to keep the rebel hideout a secret. Ah! What? What's this? The High Priest committed suicide? I've never heard anything more absurd. It's Danganronpa all over again. The lawyer has placed a stain on the good priest's death with his putrid brain. Its putrid gaping holes were as large as the hole in his logic. Will you please think of something else to say? You are fucking boring me. What hole? You still fail to understand? You truly cannot see the forest for the trees. You claim the High Priest took his own life, but have you considered who brought the dagger to the Plaza of Devotion? After the High Priest was killed, the dagger was thrust into Acolyte Zealot's dead body. Only the accused Maya Fey could have done that. It is Prosecutor Samadi says. Your claim's rather porous in its logic. And your evidence is too weak. You cannot prove the High Priest took his own life to conceal the rebel hideout. They're right. The dagger was impaled in Zealot's body. But his body had been placed in the plaza the previous day. Well, Mr. Wright, would you care to respond? Zealot's body was already in the plaza the day before the riot. But what if the dagger was also already in him at the time? The dagger was never at the inner sanctum. Of course, that's it. What is it? There was no need to remove the dagger. It had already been stabbed into Acolyte Zealot's body the day before the riot. What? That means... What does that mean? It means the dagger wasn't the weapon that took the High Priest's life.
Objection!
But no weapon was ever found at the inner sanctum. Exactly. If you will not listen to reason, I insist you prove your assertion. Show us what you believe the real murder weapon to be. The real weapon? I've got nothing, but I know there had to be a weapon there. Maybe I'll think back on the trial thus far, I'll spot the clue I need. Well, would the defense care to tell us what the real murder weapon was? This is what really killed the High Priest.
Take that!
What really killed us at the inner sanctum this whole time. Its lethality has already been demonstrated by the late Acolyte Zealot. That's right, it was the Warbad statue. Pokunka! You believe the statue claimed both victims' lives? Would you care to chime in, Abbott in me?
No, he lies. Pay him no heed.
Why, it's... Lady in me. Darling, don't you think this has gone on long enough?
Believe, no. Your Majesty, my wife knows nothing.
Please, Abbott in me, let your wife speak. Now, Lady in me, please continue if you would. It's that time again. What time would that be? 2:30 in the afternoon, the time my husband conducts his daily prayer, and the time Pare was slain. That sound! It's... the Steel Samurai alarm. I too like to pray at the same time as my dear husband, so I set an alarm to remind me each day. I had no idea it would come to this.
No, stop. She knows not what she speaks.
Your Majesty, I am the one who slew Acolyte Zealot.
Ah!
Abbott in me! Bailiff, summon a physician at once! The physician's now attending to the High Priest. There's no need to fear. Now, let's continue. And what about the half of him called Maya that's still among the living? Mrs. Inme, will you tell us everything you know? The truth is, I am a rebel just like my husband. This tragedy unfolded before the rite during the Feast of Blessings. I'd gone to the rebel hideout to prepare it for Dat's escape. And that's when Acolyte Zealot suddenly appeared? Yes. Pare was shocked when he saw me there. Acolyte Zealot didn't know you were a rebel? I do not believe he did. I believe he was there simply to investigate the hideout. And then he suddenly came face to face with Mrs. Inme. So the true identity of the rebel hunting Lady Kira was Pare Zealot? Yes. He was a member of the secret police, serving directly under the Minister of Justice. Secret police? This is what he said to me. I can kill rebels with impunity. The Justice Minister has my back. He was using his position within the secret police to deal us rebels a heavy blow. But murder sanctioned by the Crown is still murder. The trick-up Minister Inga's sleeve was Lady Kira. No, this can't be. My father would never. When did you get back? This must be a bolt out the blue for Rafer. This explains why Acolyte Zealot abandoned his real name. Yes. He even went as far as covering up the tattoo that all Karina's clergy members receive. Lady Kira was a member of the secret police. That explains why no order was given to investigate her attacks. I guess I'm not alone hearing this for the first time. But, this cannot be. Is it true? The Justice Minister's sanctioning state-sponsored murder? Peace! Now, Lady in me, please continue. Perret suddenly lunged at me. That's when I pushed the stone slab towards him with all my might. I never meant for what happened next to occur.
Allow me to take it from here.
Abbot in me, are you sure you're all right now?
I'm sorry you had to see that. But you need not worry about me. I'm already dead.
Please, we need to know what was so important you would take your own life.
After I learned my wife had accidentally slain Zealot, I chilled his body with snow to make it seem like he died more recently than he did. I later moved to the plant of devotion and inserted the dagger into his wound. The plaza was empty at the time, for it was before prayer had started. I placed his body in the prayer pose, knowing no one would notice anything was wrong until the rite had concluded.
It's perfectly plausible no one would disturb him if you seem to be praying. We do treasure our prayer time after all. So you admit you tried to pin this crime on Maya Fey?
Yes, it was all my doing. I never told my wife of my plan. Surely she would have tried to stop me.
How'd you get Miss Fay's fingerprints on the dagger?
I had a hold it while we were rehearsing the rite the day before. Right before the rite, I drugged her with a sleeping agent. Then I put Lady Kira's robes over the warbad statue.
That means Maya was probably already groggy by the time the rite started.
Finally, I ended my own life, to ensure the crime would appear to have been by Acolyte Faye's own hand.
But when your body was discovered, Lady Kira's robes were on the ground. How'd they end up there if they were on the statue?
After I impaled myself in one of the dagger-like feathers, I used the last ounce of my strength to hurl my body backwards. As I did, I grabbed onto the robes, taking them with me as I fell back onto the ground.
How terrible! What possessed you to do such a thing? You needn't have committed suicide simply to frame the accused.
Prosecutor Sanmadi, as one well versed in our kingdom's legal system, I'd expect you of all people to understand.
Understand what? The kingdom's legal system, Mrs. Immi's crime, your suicide? It can't be. That'd be sadder than sad. I believe the defense knows of what the High Priest speaks. Yes, I finally understand. This explains why the High Priest took his own life.
Take that!
The Defense Culpability Act. Circumstantial evidence supports Mrs. Immi's killing of Acolyte Zert in self-defense. However, it would be next to impossible to prove it without a lawyer. That's why the High Priest wanted to pin the crime on Maya Fey. I fail to see what it has to do with his suicide. In Karayan, the divination science is the most important piece of trial evidence. The High Priest wanted to frame Miss Fey as a serial killer. It was a clever plan in which he made sure he'd see Lady Kira in his final moments.
The lawyer speaks true. It's why I placed Lady Kira's robes upon the warbad statue. I made it seem that Acolyte Faye was the rebel hunting Lady Kira.
But are you saying you used my divination sayings to produce false evidence?
Forgive me your benevolence, but it was the only way to help my lovely wife.
If you had approached me first, I could have proved that the murder was in self-defense.
Perhaps, but I had little faith in lawyers, despite being a rebel.
How utterly foolish to cast away one's life for such a reason. There must have been other ways to cover up the crime.
Yet had I done so, my wife would rush to my defense, and when the case went to trial, she would suffer the same fate as I under the Defense Culpability Act. I could not live with myself had she been convicted because of that fiendish man.
This cannot be. All I've done under the laws of our kingdom, it has all been...
Poor Rafa. She's really taken this hard. But I can't say I'm surprised.
Mr. Phoenix Wright, it's time to show the might of your legal prowess. You mustn't allow another innocent soul to be charged under that despicable law.
Of course, I'll do whatever I can.
What I've done to you and Acolyte Faye is unforgivable. I can only offer my most humble of apologies. Your Majesty.
Yes?
I ask you please look after my wife.
You have my word.
Your benevolence, it is time I return to the Twilight Realm. The Magatama of Parting, if you please.
Very well. Your benevolence, please allow me the honor. Yes, it would be more fitting for you to send him on his way.
Mrs. Inmee.
Darling, I'm so glad I was able to see you one last time. Thank you for everything.
Oh, thank fuck that he dressed back up.
I'm so sorry to leave you like this, my love.
But now you can watch over me from the world beyond.
Yes, always and forever.
And with every breath I take, my darling, I'll be thinking of you. Farewell, my darling Trust. The High Priest has returned to the Twilight Realm.
Maya!
I feel great. I guess it means he didn't leave any regrets behind. Oh, what about the trial, Nick?
It's over. It was a sad reality born of love and a great tragedy born of the Defense Culpability Act. Well, I see no need to continue this trial. Does the prosecution have anything to say? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I owe a debt to you, one I will pay back in court someday. Now, to deliver today's verdict and overturn that of yesterday's trial. With respect to all current and previous charges against them, I hereby declare the accused Maya Fey and her defence, Phoenix Wright, not guilty.
So I was thinking, Nick, the legal system here is really stacked against the defence. It's totally unfair.
Yeah, it even forced the High Priest to make the ultimate sacrifice just to protect his wife.
It's just so sad.
Protect the status quo or join the revolution. If the real Lady Q were here, I wonder which side she would take. Your benevolence.
Huh? What?
I was wondering, are you alright?
Quiet, you. How could I possibly be alright?
Yeah, she's not doing well at all.
Who do you think you are, suddenly appearing before me, trampling my insides underfoot, and plunging the hall of justice into utter chaos? You even desecrated my mother and father's teachings, you soulless infidel.
That was a bit more extreme than usual.
What am I to do? I'd always believed communicating with a victim's mitma would lead me to the absolute truth. But each time you overturned my insights, it was revealed that they served to support false charges rather than the truth. I'm left now with that heavy truth in my heart.
I'm sorry, Rafer.
Perhaps I'm not worthy of hearing the voices of the mitma.
That's where you're wrong, your benevolence.
What?
Maya?
How dare you? Your role is to bring forth the voices of the mitma into our world. If you don't do it, who will? You know nothing, Maya Fey. It was spirit channeling, not divine science that brought the truth to light. How dare an outsider like you employ the Queen's secret art? What can I do? My spirit power doesn't even approach yours. Is it not a cruel joke? The royal priestess bested by a lowly outsider?
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Why not? It's worth at least a laugh or two. You shouldn't talk like that. Huh? Listen, your benevolence. You were just fulfilling your duty, weren't you? You're the only one capable of performing the divination seance, right? The station of royal priestess is not something to abandon lightly. The station of royal priestess? The people of your kingdom believe in you. But if you really mean all you just said, what are they supposed to believe in? You know naught of what you speak. Actually, I kind of do. After all, I'm only here training so I can become the master of my village back home. A village master, you say? I did not know. It seems I owe you an apology. For even today I called you a neophyte practitioner. It's alright, your benevolence. Thank you for finally acknowledging me. A future queen, a future village master. I guess it shouldn't be a surprise, considering they may have had a common ancestor. Maya's right, your benevolence. Barbed head. Your insights were a crucial piece of evidence in this last trial. It doesn't matter if they weren't always 100% accurate. You should be proud of what you did. You played an important role in assuring that justice was served. And besides, your insights aren't the problem here. It's your kingdom's legal system. Without lawyers, your insights have come to be accepted as sole truth. And the Defence Culpability Act, which gave rise to that, is the root of it all. But that's the dangerous thinking of a rebel. Your benevolence. As Crown Princess, you're destined to rule this kingdom one day. That means there will be many things that you alone must determine. Things like how to keep your people happy, and what is true and what is false. Most importantly, what role you must play therein. I wonder if I'm even up to the task. Knowing you, your benevolence, you're more than capable. I've never heard Maya talk like this before. She's really come a long way. Oh shit. What was that? It came from the hallway. Smoke. Better check it out. Hurry. Mrs. Inmate? Mr. Wright, Acolyte Faye, I'm sorry for what transpired. You were almost sentenced to death because of me. I will make amends by picking up where my husband left off. I will see the revolution through so nothing like this ever happens again. For that's the depth of my love for my dearly departed husband. Lady Inmate, we gotta hurry. That voice. Is that Mr. Arbol? I must tell the people. They must learn the peace we enjoy is a false one. One built on the backs of innocents charged with false crimes of that odious DC Act. We have it in our power to forge a society in which the law judges us fairly. Hey there, PW. I wish we had more time to talk, but... Dirk, everything's ready. It's go time. Dirk? Wait, was that the rebel leader Dirk? After him! Don't let him get away! The power to forge a society in which the law judges us all fairly is the start of a legal revolution. Hey Nick, hate to bother you while you're lost in thought, but I just got this great idea. What is it? The Steel Samurai vs. the Rebel Dirk. It'd make for another awesome TV show. If you threw in the Blue Punisher in there, everyone would go nuts over it. I'll never get what she sees in those shows. But it's good to know no matter what happens, Maya will always be Maya.